From the standpoint of, I know you try to be as thorough as a staff as you can to, uncover players everywhere. Can you talk a little bit about that and how you think you've done as a staff in regard to that?
I think the last 2 years we've done a good job. I think we've done a good job evaluating kids since we've been here, and more have chosen to stay home. And I don't think you'll ever bat 1,000 and get everybody, because there's some kids that, for whatever reason, want to get away from home or whatever. But the high school coach has been extremely helpful to us, and through our camps and getting out and seeing kids. It's our first priority and always will be. And then from there, we'll go to filling it in.
Is it hard sometimes to decide on a kid who kind of looks like a tweener physically? Maybe the wingspan isn't quite what you normally look for in that position, or
Yeah, that's hard on all of them, not just in-state kids. All of them. It's making that decision of where they're going to fit into the college game, and that's why if you get the opportunity to get them to come to camp, it helps a tremendous amount.
can you give any update at this point on redshirting?
Um, I don't think right now is that after this game, I think we'll have a good idea on that going into the conference.
Tracy, what do you think about the 9-game Big Ten schedule? Is that a good thing?
The what now?
A 9-game Big Ten schedule now, moving forward.
I said it before. I'd rather play 10 and have 5 and 5. I don't like the idea of one year you have 5 at home and then you got 5 on the road, and we just so happen got the 5 in the road because it's not easy winning on the road, and I think that'll play a part, in what happens each year because of that. So, but no, I'm not that's my only problem with it.
Tracy, how much do you think Brooks will be able to do this week, and how do you keep what looks like 3 real good running backs, how do you keep them each happy?
Hopefully winning. That's how, So is that you win, everybody needs to be happy. Shannon's deal, he's been cleared, but we'll see how he gets through practice too. He really hadn't practiced. And so, if he gets through practice okay and he's not sore and all that, but if he's sore now, we won't take a chance on him this week. But as of now, he's been cleared.
Tracy, how much confidence do you take in the start against 2-0, knowing that there were 2 dominating wins, but that you haven't even hit the Big Ten schedule yet?
Well, we've done pretty good in the non-conference, so it's based on winning, and there's others who couldn't quite get it done. So we've been able to get it done and to win, and so, but it's always one at a time. I think that's the challenge for everybody, is to not get your teams to overlook one week to the next, because everybody's capable of winning. Colorado State, I'm sure felt like that they gave one away a year ago when we were out there, when we won in overtime, and so Coach Bobo's done a great job. He'll have them ready to play, and everybody has enough scholarships anymore that if you don't come with your best game, then you're going to take a chance of going home and losing. So it's all about if we can keep our kids prepared and have them ready to play each game day.
From what you've seen, why is Mitch so much better this year? Even in games where maybe he should put up some big numbers in the past, he hasn't done it, but this year he does. What's different about it?
It's only been one game, so I'm not going to go but I felt last year he prepared good at the end of the year and he played well at the end of the year. So the first game, is that he didn't. But again, first games are hard because you see things that you didn't practice for. You don't know what people are going to do, so I'd like to get a little farther before we judge just exactly how good his season's going to be.
Defensively, do you like the personality of this team, or what do you want it to be, a lot like we've seen in the past?
I do. Well, I think that, again, you talk just the way kids are nowadays, a lot of them is that you get the big lead. I was disappointed. I thought we lost some intensity in the second half a little bit, and not to take any away from Indiana State. They threw the ball awfully well and made some plays, but felt like we got the big lead in there for a little bit. We lost some intensity, and that's the one thing kids got to learn is whether you're ahead or behind, you got to play hard, and that's one thing I was pleased with the offense. We kept trying to get points on the board every every possession. We did a good job. No matter how big the lead was, we kept moving the football. And so defensively, we've got to get in that mode.
Tracy, are the players you suspended 2 weeks ago still suspended?
Yeah.
Coach, on offense, you guys have been perfect in the red zone. What's been the key to your guys' success there?
I guess we've caught the ball pretty good, and it's we spend a lot of time in the red zone at practice. So, but on the other side, we ain't done as good in the red zone as I'd like. So, it's all about points, obviously, but we do one live session each week in the red zone. Ones on ones, twos on twos. Some people may not quite agree with that, but I think it's down there you get the intensity that you need, and so offensively they've done a good job, but we practice that all the time.
Tracy, what's been your evaluation of Antoine Winfield?
Is that he's come along a lot from a freshman, and we're going to keep demanding more from him. He got hurt there for a few days, and it slowed him down. No different than Carter Coughlin and those freshmen when they miss 2 days. It's hard to get them back because of the experience standpoint. But I think Antoine continues to get better each week, and we're going to ask more and more of him each week. I think he's capable of doing that.
Coach, I'm sorry, the close game you had with Colorado State last year, does that help keep the attention of the players?
Well, you hope so. That's one that, like I say, we got away with, and when you watch the film, I thought their offensive line a year ago handled us up front on the defensive line for the most part and played harder, and in the same way with their offense or their defensive line got after our offensive line, and so we definitely need to play better, and or it'll be the same type of deal, and I think they feel good now about the quarterback that they've got, and like I say, they're used to going places and playing people, so I'm sure we'll get their best, and we'll have to be ready to go.
Tracy, what difference did you notice once that quarterback went in, just in how their whole offense flowed?
Their offense really didn't change. He's a good football coach. He's got a system that he believes in, but the executing part of it, they just seem to execute and be a lot smoother with him in the game. So I think that obviously that's what the non-conference is for. Everybody wants to win them all and that, but it's still all about getting prepared for their conference games, and they probably feel like they're on pretty good track to do that.
Coach, what's the NCAA eligibility definition on redshirt? How many minutes can you play?
Oh, you can't play.
You can't play. You can't play.
No,
in a minute.
you can't play one play. No.
You make any adjustments with the bye week? Did you do any different personnel-wise? Anything you want to implement?
Not really. Like, we usually try to get guys back healthy and rest, even though it's in the second week. The bye weeks have taken on such a recruiting emphasis of getting out and recruiting, and so we practiced twice, and then we cranked it back up on Sunday again. So, but no, we carried the same routine, and hopefully we get a couple guys back from being banged up, and kids will have their legs under and be ready to go.
You're disappointed in them at kicking the ball out of bounds a few times against Indiana State, but in general, how important is it for him and Ryan to be able to flip the field and help all your defense to make them go 75, 80, 90 yards?
But it's still, even though it's all spread, offenses are a lot more no huddle. It's still wherever they start has a huge bearing on whether they score or not, and so Ryan's done a good job of flipping the field and pinning them down in there, and same thing for kickoffs. Well, I think it shows. I think they scored twice when we kicked the ball out of bounds. And when people can start towards midfield, it just gets a lot easier. So we have to do a lot better in the win situations. But overall, what those two have done has been they've played awfully well.
Mitch mentioned the one period of practice where you guys worked on pre-snap penalties and trying to simulate a cadence. What other things have you tried to do to cut down on some of the penalties?
Threaten them. I think that's all about being focused and paying attention, and so not everybody thinks you shouldn't punish, but they got a little bit of things they got to do for every time it happens in a game, and so we'll just keep addressing it, and eventually they get tired of running and they won't jump off sides.
Coach, how do you evaluate your depth at cornerback right now?
I think we're good. We're good to go there. Just got to get some experience. And in secondary, when you're young and playing, there's some hard lessons to learn. So that's why I say that's what the non-conference is for. And hopefully we can continue to win while we get those guys some experience back there.
But you like the skill level?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Tracy, do you know definitively if your suspended guys will miss this game for sure?
I don't know.
So it's-
Violates team policy and playing day by day.
And right now, the depth chart lists Mako as a backup cornerback.
Yeah.
How's his progression been? I know he came in, wasn't he a safety originally?
He played them both, so that's why he can do that. So he's played safety and corner both. So we're with safety with Winfield coming along and us getting along there pretty good is that we're gonna get him some reps at corner to give us some depth at corner.